Jurgen Klopp and Liverpool failed to make home advantage count for the first time this season on Sunday, but just 3 days later, back at Anfield and looking to take the final spot in the League Cup semi-finals and deal a hammer blow to West Ham's hopes of a second successive trophy-winning season.
Tsimikas. The lovely ball and the header is fantastic. Salah buries it. What a penalty that was. Jared Bowen, and it's saved by the Liverpool goalkeeper. Romo springs it in. Van Dijk needs the header. Oh, it's touched in to the back of the net. Jota it is. What a save that is. The little thread, it's for Jota! And Robertson, and Salah's there! McAllister, that's Nunez! That's astonishing! How on earth have they done that?
Chelsea, Fulham and Middlesbrough are in the final four. Who will take the final spot, Liverpool or West Ham? We'll find out from 8 o'clock tonight here at Anfield. Yeah, very good evening to you. Welcome along to Matchday Live. Slight bit of rain in the air here at Anfield, but Liverpool looking to take another big step towards a second League Cup in 3 seasons and a return to Wembley. Jay Spearing and Neil Mellor are alongside me. We will start, Neil, by reflecting on what we saw on Sunday, a frustrating afternoon for Liverpool. Jurgen Klopp in his programme notes today say, I've spoken about the positives when others wanted to find the negative. There has to be
many games, Jay, you've played in them games where you thought, God, that was tough out there. Maybe you've drawn a game, maybe you've been beaten in a game. Liverpool had 34 shots. I know a lot of those attempts were sort of speculative attempts, but Liverpool were the side who really went and had a go. So if you don't win a game, sometimes decision-making at times could have been better in the final third. And it's one of those games maybe we just couldn't find a way through. It doesn't happen often. It's not like this is happening often. This is a one-off game for Liverpool. We've been absolutely brilliant here at Anfield, scoring lots of goals. And let's hope it is a one-off and we can put that to bed and put it right tonight.
And perhaps, Jay, a sign of the progression of this team that this is a Liverpool side that finished below Manchester United last season, and it was United who came here and effectively, whether Roy Keane disagrees or not, played for a point.
Yeah, listen, for me, the game was all Liverpool. Manchester United came here, they had a game plan. They were going to sit in, they were going to try and frustrate Liverpool, they were going to try and do us on the counter-attack. But for me, it looked like one team and one to win the game of football. I totally agree with what Virgil was saying. I don't think it was big time. I don't think it was him being too cocky and arrogant and whatever. I think he was just stating the facts of the game that we've seen. And I agree with Neil. I think the final pass, the decision making, just was the only thing that let us down. So for positives from the game, I totally agree with the boss. I think he's completely right in what he said in his after game thoughts. And listen, like Neil said, that the games we've had at Anfield this season have been incredible. Liverpool are fighting forward, we're winning games comfortably, we're creating chance after chance. And if he wasn't creating 34 opportunities, then I'd be worried. But listen, tonight's an opportunity for us to go and try and hit some of them on target a bit more than we did at the weekend and try and get a few goals.
I think it's important to remember we're in a really good place this season. You know, compared to where we were last season, it was a difficult season. We are ahead of where Manchester United are. They're having a few difficulties, so it felt disappointing for us to have drawn the game. They were absolutely made up, so that's the difference in terms of where the two teams are at the moment.
The other point you would make, if we look at the Premier League table heading into Saturday evening and a mouth-watering match between Liverpool and Arsenal here at Anfield, if you'd have said a point off the top heading into the final game before Christmas back in August, I think everyone would have taken it.
Yeah, and I think I spoke about this on air before, that if you looked at our summer, when everyone was talking, well, what we're going to do with all the people that had left the club, the midfield, the whole midfield was a change. Players coming in, people questioned the signings and what we were bringing in. But for you to say that we're a point ready just before Christmas, going into Saturday's game, a point off the top, we're playing who are top of the league as well at Anfield right before Christmas. For me, I'd have bit your hand off. I think it's been a fantastic turnaround from the squad. I think the squad have built together. The confidence has grew in time over game, and I still think there's gears to go, which again is another exciting point to pick up on.
I think at the start of the season, nobody was really talking about Liverpool potentially challenging this season, and that's where you have to give the they've played, for how they've settled, for how Liverpool have performed this year, to be in a position to really be in a title race again. We've been in it in the last few seasons. You're looking at City and thinking, well, they've been the one that have just pipped us in a couple of occasions. I think Arsenal are very much in it, so it's nice to be in that position, because like I say, last year we weren't in the top 4 once last season. We want to return to Champions League football, that's the ultimate again, but it would be nice to be in that title race, because we really enjoyed it, didn't we?
Neil's mentioned 2 other teams that are in the title race there. Anyone else?
No, I think we spoke about it off air before, but for me, the top three battling out for the top will be City, Liverpool and Arsenal.
And tonight, a big opportunity in another competition. It's the smallest, shortest way to get yourself to Wembley. 3 wins away.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, all of a sudden it's quarter-final. You realise how close you are. It's the first silverware of the season, and we've both been in that position where it can create a feel-good factor, but a momentum around a football club, thinking we've got a chance to get to the final, we've got a chance to win that trophy. And then other things may come along as well. We're talking about maybe being in a title race, but if we were to win the League Cup this season, that would give everyone a huge lift and maybe push us on towards the latter part of the season. Of course, Europa League as well to look forward to. So this cup's slightly different. The other cups are at the end of the season when you don't really get to build on that momentum. This is sort of at the end of February, March time, where there's still some big games left, and it can really give everyone a huge lift. Quarter-final at home, Anfield's a big factor tonight. Absolutely delighted this is at home.
Mentioned against Everton. Chelsea scored a late equaliser in normal time through Mykhailo Mudryk, and then beat last year's beaten finalists Newcastle 4-2 on penalties, and then Middlesbrough of the Championship beat Port Vale of League One pretty comfortably in the 3rd game last night. What you would say, Jay, is there is nothing there that frightens you in terms of potential opponents?
No, not at all. I think we've shown that
there is nothing there that frightens you in terms of potential opponents?
No, not at all. I think we've shown that we're capable of coming up against anybody this season, even when we do make changes to the side. The squad is there for a reason, to fight on all fronts. We know that we've got capable of doing that. We've got plenty of players who can come in who still need game time. You've got the likes of Gapco, players coming back from injury too that can always challenge. So like Neil said, this is a big competition. It's one that we want to go on and win, and the momentum for us, we want to be fighting on all fronts.
We're the favourites. We're the highest placed team left in the competition. You're looking at that thinking this is a tough game tonight. Then you're looking at the other teams left in the competition. Fulham made it uncomfortable recently in the Premier League, so that'll be a decent game over 2 legs potentially if we get through tonight. Chelsea, never really sure, a little bit inconsistent this year. And Middlesbrough Championship side, so we are the favourites, certainly if we can get through a tough game tonight.
Well, it is a tough game against another of your former clubs, Neil, against a team that knows what it takes to go deep into cup competitions and lifted a trophy as well, the Conference League last year. Yeah,
it was a brilliant year, wasn't it, for West Ham? Did ever so well in Europe. There's been a long time since they have won a trophy and certainly competed in the latter parts. The fans really enjoyed that. You know, ultimately for fans, it's about enjoying those moments, and they had one last season. I think in the Premier League they were a little bit off it last season. They were bottom half. They were sort of toying towards the relegation places at one stage, but had enough quality to get through. I look at West Ham and I see them as sort of a 6, 7, 8 sort of team. Not quite good enough to get in the top 4, but certainly a very, very good Premier League side. And if you're not at it, these are the sort of teams that can cause you problems. And we've seen, coming to Anfield, you can see Bowen scoring there. They can cause us problems, but I look at West Ham this season and think, this is almost like their biggest chance of winning a silverware. I don't think they'll win the Europa League. Obviously, we fancy our chances in that. There's some other big teams in that. This is a real chance for them to, again, win trophy, but this is a tough draw for them tonight.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think West Ham they've been hit and miss all year. I don't think they've really hit any consistency. So I totally agree in what Neil's saying, that the silverware for them, this is a big, huge opportunity, and I can see them coming with a strong side tonight.
But interestingly, I was lucky enough to be on the bus with them as they went round with that trophy, and that's when you think, this is what it's about for fans. Whether people malign the Conference League or the League Cup, this is what you want to be doing, winning cups.
Yeah, it is, and I think Pep Lijnders spoke about it in his press conference, that back in 2022, the journey that the club went on with the fans and the players, and they were unbelievable times. Then finals that we all had at Wembley, then days out at Wembley. This is what this club's built on, and we want to win silverware. And every single year, you want to be in all competitions, fire on all fronts.
Well, the boys have mentioned what potential team changes there might be tonight. Let's get details of the Liverpool 11 from Becky Davis.
Yeah, thanks very much, Robert. It's fair to say I think this is one of the trickiest team selections for anyone outside the club to try and predict exactly how Jurgen Klopp would line up his Liverpool side here tonight. And that, of course, goes for West Ham as well, trying to anticipate just what the boss would do for this quarter-final here at Anfield. Obviously, Liverpool come into it fresh off the back of that game here against Manchester United on a game which, of course, is of huge magnitude in itself. So a tricky one to see how the boss would play it. I can tell you, we'll show you now the Liverpool team sheet for the game against West Ham tonight. It is Corvin Kelleher, Joe Gomez, Endo, Virgil van Dijk, Dominic Szoboszlai, Darwin Núñez, who you might remember scored in the 3-1 Premier League win here against West Ham back in September, Curtis Jones, Cody Gakpo, he's aiming to score for the third round in a row after his goals against Leicester and Bournemouth as well. And Harvey Elliott also in midfield. Harvey Elliott actually still holds the distinction of being the youngest ever player to take to the field in a Carabao Cup game. 15 years and 174 days old he was when he played for Fulham, who of course Liverpool could face in the next round if they get past West Ham this evening. Kostas Tsimikas and Jarell Quansah complete the starting 11 for Liverpool tonight. On the bench, it's Adrian, Ibu Konate, Luis Diaz, Mohamed Salah, Bobby Clark, Kate Gordon, James McConnell, Trent Alexander-Arnold and Connor Bradley. So that is the Liverpool team that will take to the field in front of what will be a record crowd here at Anfield tonight for a League Cup game. It eclipses the previous record, which was set back in 2016 against Tottenham. And that game notable for the appearance, the debut indeed, of a very fresh-faced at the time, Trent Alexander-Arnold. Back to you.
So there you go, that's the Liverpool team with 6 changes tonight, the same 2 for West Ham. Becky will be back with details of that in more depth a little bit later on. But Areola comes into their team in goal in place of Fabianski. 3 changes in the defence for David Moyes, Ogbonna, Mavropanos and Johnson all in. And then Pablo Fornals and Said Benrahma also come to the team. Lucas Paquetá amongst those that drops to the bench, as does James Ward-Prowse and the captain Kurt Zouma. But Liverpool go strong, Jay.
Yeah, I'm glad. Yeah.
Liverpool go strong, Jay.
Yeah, I'm glad. Yeah, I think after the weekend, people want to go and get on the pitch. We've got some strong players. Núñez is obviously still going off as a 9, we'd expect. Maybe Gakpo coming in as well. But for me, Jarell obviously getting another go in the middle as well. It'll be a difficult, tough night for him, but one that he can relish, one that he can take in both hands. He's done well every time he's come in. He's led the back line forward well. I think he's proven that he kind of state their claim for Saturday's game.
Neil, it feels as though those particularly that Jay just mentioned, Harvey Elliott and Curtis Jones, Elliott especially, has earned the chance to start.
Yes, but it's always difficult, isn't it? Because who's he going to dislodge? Because obviously Szoboszlai had a great start to his Liverpool career. McAllister's been in there, Ryan Gravenberch. So as much as Harvey Elliott has done it ever so well coming off the bench and certainly been giving the manager a nudge to give him the start, it's very, very difficult to get that start. So we wondered how many changes there'd be. Obviously he's done ever so well coming off the bench. He's got that start now tonight, and that's an opportunity for him to impress. Obviously Curtis balances it out on the left hand side. I just wonder who'll be in the front 3. I mean, Harvey Elliott could go in the front 3 on the right hand side. Could it be maybe Dominic Szoboszlai on that right hand side as well? You've obviously got Gakpo in there, you've got Núñez. I think we could see Gakpo as the 9 and maybe Núñez down the left hand side. We've seen that at times, so it'd be interesting to see how Liverpool line up. And against United, he did at the weekend. I thought he did ever so well. And me and Jay were speaking just before we came on air, and as a play, you want a run in the side. You really want a run in the side to get up to speed with it. And I feel as though Endo's in that position. He's had the benefit of a little run in the side. 2 or 3 Premier League starts now, so I'm expecting him again to play a big role in protecting Liverpool's defence and stopping West Ham on the counter, which will be their big threat.
I agree with Endo. I think that with Endo, when he first came in, people were questioning whether he was a Liverpool player, if he could live up to the expectation. But notice what he brought to the team. But he broke up the game completely well. He protected the back line as well, stopped all opportunities to get more minutes in his legs ready for the weekend.
Of those 3 more attack-minded players who've come into the team, Elliott, Jones and Gakpo, which has got the best opportunity, would you say, to force their case to be selected against Arsenal on Saturday?
I felt as though Curtis finished the season really well. He had a great Euros with England, and it was sort of, he'd got himself into the team. He had a bit of an untimely injury and has been out of the team, but certainly he understands what is required of him in midfield, and I think he's a player who really suits the way Jurgen wants to play. So I think you're looking at it thinking he could be a player who maybe starts at the weekend. I think Harvey Elliott is a player who I really like. He's such an incredibly talented player for somebody so young. And again, he could come into the manager's thoughts at the weekend. So, yeah, I mean, both are options. We don't know how long Gravenberch will be out for, because we think he will be back, because it's not a serious injury, which is fortunate. McAllister, when's he back? Injuries are mounting up, so tonight's a big night. Could be playing maybe to start at the weekend, one or two of them.
Just to go back to Gerald Kwanzaa, you touched on and said, good to see him getting another go. Has how well he's adapted and how calm in big occasions he's looked at all surprised you, knowing him as you do?
Not really. I think he's always been quite a calm, tall young lad. I think the loan for me, we were talking about sort of here again before, the loan for me was an unbelievable decision from him to go and do. I think people question whether it was the right time. I agree, it was 100% the right time for him to do it. He kind of outgrown under 21s football. He looked like a leader. He took control of everything there. So for him to go out on loan and experience things he's probably never experienced before, playing a goal. I think his first game was against Sam Vokes. So it was barely. So that's not me. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. A few elbows would have been thrown around there, so that would have woke him up a little bit, but it would have seen him good to deal with that, because now he's come back and he's hit the ground running for me, and he's proven that he can handle it. He's worked hard for his opportunity. He's took it with both hands. Now listen, there's only so much that we can all do before the shackles come off and we have to let him go, and he's done incredibly well to look so calm for such a young lad, and next to Virgil as well.
Well, just a reminder that we are building up to an 8 o'clock kickoff here at Anfield in this League Cup quarter-final between Liverpool and West Ham. Full audio commentary comes from Steve Hunter and John Aldridge. Then we'll be back, Jay, Neil and myself, at 10:15 with interviews from the tunnel at Anfield as well. And then the full match replay of this League Cup quarter-final will be available at midnight tonight on LFC and LFC TV Go. And then tomorrow on the club's Facebook and YouTube channels, all the behind-the-scenes access and inside Anfield. So if you're watching us on social media, you are about to leave us. But if you'd like to sign up to LFC TV or Go, details on liverpoolfc.com/watch. Lots more to come between now and kick-off here at Anfield. We will hear from Pep Lijnders in just a few minutes' time. There's the shirts inside the Liverpool dressing room. They have dominated West Ham here in recent years. 7 straight victories. Can they make it 8 in the last 8 of the League Cup tonight?